You're setting up the top floor of Nighthaven Labs completely wrong, so I'm going to show you just how to do it. First, let's go over all of the reinforcements. On the command triple wall, you want to reinforce the middle and right side wall. Then come to the left side wall that connects the two sites and reinforce the left, but not the right side. I'll show you why you don't reinforce the right later. For now, let's go to the connector wall. You only want to reinforce the right side of the connector wall. Do not reinforce the left. Then make your way into IT. You want to reinforce both of these IT walls. Then come into the connector room and reinforce both of the exterior connector walls. Now come back into command and reinforce the left side command wall. And with this, you should have one reinforcement left over, but I'll go over where to put that later. For now, let's go over all of these site destruction. First, you need a vaultable rotate on this connector wall. You want this to be vaultable because typically you'll have a mirror to put a mirror window on this wall, and this allows her, if it's vaultable, to throw a nitro cell over onto the door to get a free kill just like that. Usually what you want to end up doing is playing that mirror, and then the second that you're getting really pressured, you'll just reinforce this wall if there isn't a mirror on it, which is why you save that last reinforcement. If there is a mirror on it, you can have that wall still just unreinforced, or you could reinforce that wall and then open up this mirror. It's completely up to you. I recommend just reinforcing it off no matter if you have a mirror or not, and just having this as a piece of information you can use. Continuing with actual site setup though, you want feet holes just like this. The only time you want to make a rotate here instead of feet holes is if you have a player playing top aqua. Typically, you have a warden player who puts a shield right here and plays here with a shotgun. If I'm doing that, I'll make myself a rotate instead of feet holes, because it allows me to rotate back into site a lot faster, and it allows me to get a crazy angle into warehouse once you make the warehouse rotate. Speaking of, let's make the warehouse rotate. A lot of people will just put head holes here. You do not want to put head holes here. You need to make a rotation in here, but you don't want to make it vaultable either. Some people make a vaultable rotate. This is bad. You want to make a sprintable rotate that goes all the way up and all the way down. You need this to be sprintable because if you have a rafters player that's getting heavily pressured out of rafters, he needs to be able to escape back into site without being able to be slowed down. But if they're playing on IT and your rafters is clear, you need to be able to go from site to the IT door to contest the wall. So having a seamless rotate here is what you want. If you pair this up with another mirror on this wall just like this, you're able to swing off of this mirror and sprint in front of it like this to get even freer kills. For the final piece of necessary site setup, you just want head holes next to this reinforcement. With those head holes and this rotation combined, you can also get this long angle onto the electrical closet. These head holes allow you to get an angle into IT and an angle into your electrical closet. You can also use the rotate and the head holes combined to get this crazy angle onto that same exact doorway like this, which is completely unstoppable. And that is how you set up the top floor of Nighthaven Labs perfectly. Now that was just one out of 7 bomb sites you're setting up wrong in year 10 of Rainbow Six Siege. These get more unbelievable as the video goes on, and will make you rethink if you really deserve that rank that you have. The next site I'll be going over is the top floor of Lair. Now Lair hasn't been out for a while, so if you set this up wrong, I understand. But if you set it up wrong after watching this video, we're gonna have an issue. Here are the 10 reinforcements you need for this site. First of all, get the main wall right here. Then go into the other objective and get this wall like this. Then come into display and you're going to reinforce only the left side server wall here. Make your way into operational and reinforce the left side wall here. And then you're going to reinforce the right side of this wall leading into site. I also recommend that you go back into R6 room and reinforce this left side wall here. And those are all of the necessary reinforcements. You should still have one in pocket that I'll go over later. But for now, let's go over the site setup. First of all, you want a vaultable rotate on this wall here. The reason for this being vaultable, I will go over later. For now, put a crouch rotate right here. Put head holes on the server wall, put head holes on the operational wall, and put head holes on the main wall. Optionally as well, if you want extra pressure on the bomb site, you can put head holes on this wall in between sites. That one's more up to you though. Now the reason that I made this a vaultable rotate with head holes right here is because a lot of the times you'll have an Aruni DMR player that will sit display hall with a gate on her window and barbed wire on her staircase, and she can sit and hold an angle from these head holes through the rotate onto the breach, which makes it to where they just can't plant. It's a very powerful angle. The reason you put head holes here is so that you can swing the doorway off the reinforcement or swing the doorway that way. You also have a zombies you can use to block the doorway off if you plan to actually play on this bomb site. And then also putting in a zombie on this couch right here to block your rotate from this doorway is pretty nice. Now these head holes here are kind of optional. If you're playing a zombie, I recommend you make the head holes. The only issue with making these head holes is that if you make them, obviously this wall is soft, so if they take operational control, they can just buck through here and plant. But if you're playing a zombie, chances are they're not really going to be able to do that if you're a good zombie player. So I recommend putting head holes here but if you're not going to hold operational, I would just reinforce this wall. Playing a zombie here with holes here allows you to watch the breach, and if they plant in the default, you can swing that and kill them. But if you're not going to play it again, just reinforce this wall here. That way, if you still are playing here, but you're not playing here with a zombie, the wall can't shoot you if you're playing on this reinforcement, so you can waste a little bit more time and then fall back to site completely safe. And that's it for this bomb site. I went over one that y'all might have not known, but again, this is layer, so I guess I'll give you a free pass on this one. But this next one, you definitely should know by now. And that is gym bedroom on Clubhouse. The thing that I see wrong the most is where the reinforcements go, so let's go over that very quickly. First of all, you want a reinforcement in the middle of gym and master. That reinforcement will block anybody who goes on the rotate we'll talk about in Logi later. Then reinforce the right side bathroom wall facing the jacuzzi breach. Obviously reinforce the jacuzzi breach as well. Then come and reinforce the right side of the Logi wall here. Reinforce the con single. Reinforce the 2 cache walls. And this is where people mess it up. You should have 2 reinforcements left by now. Do not use a single reinforcement on any of the red walls. I repeat, do not use a single reinforcement on any of the red walls. Instead, come into CC and reinforce both of these plat walls. The reason you reinforce these walls is so that you can actually extend and play in CC, which allows you to get an angle on the highway without getting shot from outside. Now let's go over the second most important part of this bomb site, and that is the soft destruction. If you're not reinforcing red, obviously you want to rotate. Some people put a rotate on the left, crouching. I do that if you had a deployable shield. So I'll show you what that looks like. Just put a crouching rotate normally where you'd put it if you were playing like the actual cache bomb site. Then you can have a shield like this just facing the breach, and then you can sit and just peek the right or the left of it or above it and get free kills. If you don't have a shield, I make a standing rotate on this side instead that I can sprint through. That way I can kind of just like quick peek this, and then sprint to cache if I need to back out, because you don't really have the cover of a shield. So dependent on if you bring a shield or not is what the rotate's going to look like here. Next up, you want head holes on this wall here. These head holes allow you to sit in cache and hold angles onto anybody hopping in any of the windows, even the gym window, when I'll show you the rotate next. But for now, let's go into Logi. You want to make a vaultable rotate into Logi, just like this. Then come into gold and make a rotate from gold into master. You need to put it in the middle of the wall. If you put it too far to the left, they can just see around this reinforcement, which completely negates the entire purpose of it. If you put it too far to the right, they can see you from the master window. So putting it in the middle gets you covered from the mattress and from the reinforcement. Next up, make the bathroom rotate vaultable, but on the left side strictly. Make the gym master rotate. Make feet holes all across the gym wall here. And that is all of the necessary holes you need to make for this bomb site. But there's one other thing that you absolutely need for this bomb site, and that is some sort of information utility for your main stairs, somewhere at the bottom like this, and some information for your red stairs, again, somewhere at the bottom like this. That's the reason that Sentry is so popular on this bomb site. It's because you can make all of the site setup, and you have a deployable shield, and you have info for the 2 staircases you need it, because this bomb site requires so much team coordination and utility that if you don't have it, you're going to lose. So that's why most people set it up wrong, is because they're just not coordinated enough. So hopefully now you know how to set it up right. A site that I guarantee even you are setting up wrong, though, is the second floor of border. The first thing you absolutely need to do for this bomb site is reinforce the left side armory wall, reinforce the archives wall leading to the window, reinforce the other archives wall, then reinforce the triple wall that leads to east hallway, reinforce the Troy wall, then reinforce the left side 90 wall here, and reinforce the wall next to that. Now your final reinforcement can go one of 2 places. If Mira is on the board, you're going to put a Mira window on this wall, and then you're going to open up head holes just like this, which means your last reinforcement is not going to go on this wall. This Mira allows you to swing the bomb site just like this, and allows you to hold a crispy angle onto the balcony just like that. If you open up the barricade here with holes into CC just like this, now you can watch anybody who hops in the CC window as well, essentially locking down both rooms at one time. In this case, you'd reinforce this wall right here. That way, if someone walks up metal and they're on your small window, they can't shoot you while you're on your Mira. However, if you're not running Mira, then you can risk just reinforcing this wall and letting them have it. Or if you have an ACOG, you can still put headles on the wall. Up to you, doesn't matter. But this mirror strat will like single-handedly win you games, so I seriously recommend if mirror's up that you do this every single time. For now though, now that we're all out of reinforcements, let's go over the site setup. Minus this hole right here that I made accidentally earlier. You'll want to put feet holes across this wall. You'll also want feet holes across this wall. This allows you to peek the Africa half wall and kill anybody planting default, or peek the small office and kill anyone planting on the window. You You also should make a rotate just like this. This might seem weird, but it's a rotate that has saved my life so many times and allows you to go from archives all the way through this rotate into fountain that you're going to make too, allowing you to hold a lot of pressure very quickly. You also want to rotate somewhere into break room because you need to be holding CC at all times unless you get pressured by like 5 different people. Holding this box right here is very important. You can hold the window, hold this door, and hold this door in one single position, and this reinforcement will protect you from anybody on east stairs. And then you can rotate back to site, rotate into fountain, or use this rotate to rotate into archives. I also recommend having a little hole just like this to watch your metal stairs, and having feet holes all across this wall. This allows you to sit all the way in Troy and watch metal stairs while having a reinforcement to your left protecting you from the double door or anybody who opened up your east triple wall. The feet holes here also allow anybody who's sitting on site just like this to watch the double door walk-in, so it serves a double purpose. And that's it for the top floor of border. I have a very weird setup for the top floor of border, but that's because I'm a very aggressive player that realizes the importance of holding CC with a bunch of rotates and holding office. In higher elo, all they do is push office, so making sure you're wasting a bunch of utility here and feet holes here is very, very important, which is why I did it. In lower ranks, this may not make sense for you, but if you're a higher ranked player, you definitely should try this setup in your next rank game. Something else you should definitely try is not messing up the site setup when you come to penthouse. I guarantee you set the site up wrong, so let's go over the reinforcements first. First of all, you need a reinforcement in the middle of penthouse into VIP. If you don't reinforce this, you can get a long angle from the window behind you, ash this wall open, and get a very long angle into VIP. So reinforce that wall. You should be extending into VIP every time you play this bomb site, so reinforce both your VIP walls here, as well as your backside VIP walls here, and then your rightmost VIP wall as well. We'll go over why later, but this is very important. Next up, go to theater and get the 2 theater walls like this, as well as the leftmost theater wall just like this. You also want to reinforce, not put a rotate, but reinforce this wall here. And now you should be out of reinforcements. Some of these reinforcements might look weird, so let me give you the holes for the site setup and maybe you'll understand why I did what I did. First of all, you want to rotate on the right side. People love to put a rotate on the left, which never really made sense to me because if you do that, you're exposed to the window, to the bathroom door, and the Hall of Fame door. Whereas on this rotate, you're only exposed to the VIP door and maybe bathroom once you swing out. This rotate also allows you to get this crazy angle through the rotate that I'm going to show you onto the VIP breach once it's opened. To do this angle, simply make a rotate from penthouse to VIP. You want to make this rotate as far left as you possibly can so that when you use it, you can tuck behind the dresser and not worry about this big window. If you want to be able to swing that big window though, a lot of players have adapted to putting head holes here. Those head holes allow you to put a mirror on this wall if the reinforcement's obviously on the other side to contest the window if they try to hop in with, let's say, like an Osa or a Blackbeard. And the reason they put a reinforcement on this wall is because you're going to pair it up with head holes just like this, which allow you to swing off the reinforcement onto the VIP breach, as well as off the reinforcement onto these 2 doors and the window. The reinforcement will protect you when you're rotating through 90, which you should be doing. This is the biggest mistake I see from everybody who plays this bomb site, is they aren't playing 90. You need to be playing 90 because it allows you to watch your white stairs, but if you have information on it, primarily it's meant so that you can watch this hallway for backside pushes. If you can watch this hallway, kill people here, then it allows you to play on these head holes to watch the VIP breach, so it's very powerful that you play in 90, which is why I didn't reinforce this wall, because you're actually going to give yourself a rotate. Giving yourself a rotate makes it to where you can play 90 and fall back a lot more seamlessly, but your only issue is white stairs, which is why every time I play this bomb site and you play it too, you should be bringing castle. Castle brings proximity alarms, so you can put one on the staircase here, you can castle off your luggage, but now you don't have to worry about backside at all because you'll know about it if they push there. Moving on though, you want hip height holes right about here. The reason you do hip height and not head height or feet height is because you can get on top of this couch and look at people as they walk by, just like that. Also make sure that you break this face and these candles in the prep face so you can hop on top of this and rat here and get free kills, but that's besides the point. I'm going to show you where the rest of these castles go so you know just how beautiful this strat is. Put a castle on this double window here. People love to sit on the roof and just bait the hallway, so castling this makes it to where you can actually like play here. You also want to castle off the billiards double. Unless you have a roamer, then doing this might trap them, but you get the idea. Castle this for now, and then put a proximity alarm on this vase so that if they swing your hallway, you can swing 90 and kill them. Your final castle should go on the site double window, just so that they can't easily break it and they have to actually use time and utility to break it. Finally, put feed holes all along the bathroom wall here, and now you're set to have the best defense you've ever had on Penthouse for Coastline. Another site that plays extremely similarly to this site but on a different map is Bunk Daycare of Theme Park. On Theme Park, typically you'll go Armory, then Initiation, or vice versa, and then Bunk is the tertiary site. but most of you, I guarantee, are setting this site up wrong. So I'm gonna teach you how to do it correctly. First of all, to the reinforcements, obviously reinforce in the middle of both objectives, reinforce the left side initiation wall, reinforce the right side wall and break, come into cafe and reinforce this cafe single wall here. Then go to the daycare wall and reinforce this wall, and reinforce this wall. Do not reinforce this wall, I will tell you why later. For now though, come into initiation and reinforce this initiation wall, then come into vault and reinforce this cache wall. First of all, you want head holes here to watch your cache. You want head holes in initiation to watch the hatch drop, almost as if you were playing the initiation bomb site. You want a rotate just like this. You want a rotate on the left right here with head holes on the right. You want head holes on the right side of this wall too. You want a vaultable rotate on the left side of this wall. And optionally, you can put a rotate just like this to watch anybody coming up your yellow stairs. Next, put a hole next to the reinforcement and break room, and you are set to go. The way you play this bomb site is you play in initiation and have another player extending into vault early. So what happens here is people extend into initiation, they try to hold this for as long as possible, and then once they get pressured, all they do is they leave, rotate through here, and then they reinforce this wall off, allowing you to then bandit it, essentially just wasting a bunch of time for free. The person here does pretty much the exact same thing. They're going to waste time here, and then they're going to vault out, wasting a bunch of time for free. This does give attackers a rotate, but because you made head holes here, you can watch if they rotate, and these head holes also allow you to watch anybody in cafe on the door from back here, giving you 2 angles you can use for the door instead of just 1. I also forgot to mention you want to make a rotate on the left side of this wall here. That way you can swing your top arcade, but that's besides the point. This hole allows you to get an angle into the hallway, while this reinforcement makes it to where if they get on that window, they can't get that angle on the hallway. And that's pretty much everything that's really important for bunk daycare. I think the biggest mistake, obviously, is that nobody really extends into backside, which you have to be doing on this bomb site because you can't play below. You're going to get roam cleared, so you have to try to extend into space that you normally wouldn't get. Also, this reinforcement shouldn't be here. I miscounted, by the way. That should be the extra reinforcement you have to reinforce your rotate over there. So make sure you keep that in mind. I was not supposed to put that there. That is my bad. Even I, as you can see, mess up site setup sometimes. But a site setup I know I don't mess up on that you probably do. And that is the final bomb site in today's video, which is Bar and Gaming on Chalet. First of all, let's go over the reinforcements. You need to come into 45 and reinforce this dining wall. If you don't do this, they will buck a hole right here that will shoot blue stairs for anybody walking down. So do this every single time. You also need to come into gaming and reinforce this stock wall, reinforce this stock wall, then come upstairs, reinforce these 2 office walls, reinforce this library single, reinforce the library box single, and reinforce this library box single here. You also want another reinforcement on this 45 bar wall right here. And then your final reinforcement's going to go on this site hatch. This is optional. You can actually open this hatch, which is a pretty valid strategy. And then maybe you can get this hatch reinforcement and the other reinforcement we just did, and then reinforce the downstairs dining walls. That's a pretty valid strategy too. And that's really the hard part about defending this bomb site, is there's so many variations that you can't really help but get it wrong, especially in ranked sometimes. So let's go over the rest of the site setup to maybe ease this confusion for you. First of all, open the library hatch. This allows you upstairs to watch the downstairs window, and downstairs to watch the upstairs window. It gives your players a rotate back to site 2, so it's really nice to have. You'll want to rotate in between sites here, with optional head holes all across this if you have a mirror player in stock. Holes that aren't optional though are these stock holes here, and these feet holes in case anybody walks in the mud door. For upstairs, really just make sure you have a hole next to this wall for the pixel angle onto the double window. And for this site, it is a must that you have a deployable shield on blue stairs right here to watch the office door when they walk in. That's why I recommend also having a duo for this site to play like Jaeger for ADSs or a mute for Flores, but you get the idea. You need a shield here. And that's how you set up bar gaming. A lot of people don't really know how to set it up because in solo queue, your teammates will kind of just do whatever they want. But now you can use this basic blueprint as a guide for you to set it up yourself. Let me know what bomb sites I missed, and check out this next video, and I hope I'll see you there.